About 20 years ago, I started a small business here, and we are operating a lot following your principles. We're a debt-free company.
Cool.
With about 25 employees. We have set aside as a company two different buckets, for the lack of better words. One is a savings bucket, and one is a emergency fund. The savings bucket has in it about $3 million, and the emergency funds, it's about $1 million. We are last year, $6 million. This year, we already passed the 6. We're on our way to $9 million.
Way to go.
Revenue.
Proud of you. What kind of business is this?
It is in the low voltage sector.
Oh, man, good for you. Well done. You guys are working your tails off, man.
Thank you. I appreciate it. The question that I have for you, though, is we have allowed a company that I'm not schooled into the whole financial, how to invest and how to do things. I'm a hard worker, but I know where I belong. And we have hired other company that could handle some of those money. So the $3 million that is a savings makes about $60,000 a year. It is in a portfolio that a wealth management company manages. And then the $1 million, which we use it for, like I said, it's an emergency fund. That one is in a money market and makes about 4%, give or take. The question that I do have for you is that a good approach to that, or should I look into something different? Is that a good return, or should I start buying properties and houses and other things that I'm not necessarily comfortable with handling?
Yeah, well, the problem with that is if you need the money for the business, it's money for the business. And if it's tied up in real estate, you can't get it out, right? So did you say you made $60,000 on $3 million?
So when I look at the thing, when I look at what it does, obviously it's invested in the stock market. So you give and take and ups and downs.
$60,000 a month?
It says there that obviously is invested in things, but when I look at it, it says that the amount, the net worth of what it has been made, it will be like $60,000, and I'm thinking, okay,
that's 2%, man.
Yes,
that's not there's nothing that should have made 2%. Crap, you could have got that on a high yield savings account. You could have got 4. So that's not invested. Nothing has made 2%. I mean, in a year?
Yes, sir.
Okay. There's something wrong, don't you think? You ought to be making more than 2%?
I do, and I'm sitting, those are money and savings. In my mind, at least initially, I was thinking if I don't lose them, at least I'm okay. I have made those, I put them on the side. But on the other hand, they are in a stock market. I could lose them for that matter if this crashes.
You're not going to lose all of them, but it's going to be up and down more than a high yield savings account. So what I would be doing is, in your case, is I would have the $1 million in a high yield savings account. It'd be earning about 4, 4.5, 5, somewhere in there. Okay. And I would have the $3 million invested in some basic, growth stock mutual funds, even an S&P 500. But you would have made a whole lot more than $60,000 if you were invested in something like that. So we've got a portion of our retained earnings in something like an S&P 500 index fund or a basic mutual fund, okay? So what happens there is it's going to range, it's going to do what the stock market does, which every 5 or 6 years loses a little bit, and the rest of the time it makes something, and almost always makes more than the stupid high yield savings makes. So you're going to hover in the 10, 12% range. The last 2 calendar years, 24 and 23, you would have made 20% on your money. But that's not normal. But that would have been $600,000.
Yeah, for sure it doesn't do that.
Yeah. And so that's where ours is parked. I mean, if we had $3 million sitting in a S&P 500 over 23 and 24, we would have made $600,000 a year on it. And per year. And now this year, maybe not. This year's not been as radically cool, but it's not down. I mean, we're fine. We're making money. So, sit down with a SmartVestor Pro, go to RamseySolutions.com and sit down with one of them and talk about where I can park this money that follows the market. Now, here's the thing. You put $3 million in there, you might look up 1 year and it's 2.7. You might look up another year and it's 3.6. But you're not going to, you don't have a situation in stock market history where you're going to have zero.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, but if you could make 10% on it on average, or even 8%, it's a lot more than the high yield savings, and you can handle a little bit of volatility. Because honestly, if something comes up and the thing's at 2.9 because it's down a little bit right then, instead of up 600, it's down 100, that doesn't break your back. It doesn't put you out of business. So if you had to dip into it, so the times that you're going to dip into that $3 million, you're going to have a long notice. Number one, you got $1 million you're going to go through before you get to it. You'd use the other $1 million, the original $1 million first before you got to it. And the other time would be like we're buying something, we're buying another business out, or we're buying a huge piece of equipment that we want to double our dadgum production or something like that. And so we're going to pull $1 million out of there. Then you could look at that and go, well, I can wait a month to do that. And let's see if this market rebounds a little bit. It's, Trump burped or something. So we've got to worry about the market for the next 30 minutes but that kind of thing. But you can afford a little bit of volatility there because you've got a lot of lead time before you would get to that $3 million. So that's how we do our retained earnings. We break it apart between, we keep some money very liquid that we can get to that's completely safe, like a high yield savings. And then we've got some others in basic growth stock mutual funds. So sit down with SmartVestor Pro. If the wealth management people are not making you but $60,000 on $3 million, there's a problem. Something's wrong. You need to learn what's going on. You need to figure that out. You got $3 million worth of lessons you want to learn there. You want to know what's going on. And don't say, well, I'm not good enough. I'm not smart enough to learn this. It's not that hard. A good person in the financial advising world can teach you the basics where you can feel comfortable with your own decisions instead of just holding your nose, closing your eyes, and trusting that they're driving the car well. Don't ever do that again. So find out what's going on with your guys. Talk to the Ramsey SmartVestor Pro in your area and compare and then decide if you're going to stay with your guys and learn what they're doing and they're going to do a better job, or are you going to move this? And that's what I would look at doing. So, hey, really good question, man. Very cool. Congratulations on your success. I'm very proud of you. Very well done.